Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. My name is Lee Honish, and I am joined by Miguel Antonio Barragan. How are you, Miguel?
Good. Just waking up, literally. I'm shaking off the sleep.
Literally, we
Yeah.
actually joked about it at 7:30 about
Yes,
you.
I woke up to those wonderful texts. Yes.
8:25. 8:25 is when that alarm goes off to record at 8:30. And I am joined by the guy who went to bed probably the earliest of the group, Andrew Lapache. How are you, Andrew?
I was up at 5:30.
Of
Now
course you
I'm
were.
a little sleepy.
I bet. As always, visit us at boxingtonight.io. And if you'd like, go follow us on social media. I'm going to go visit us on social media, on Facebook, because Sanisa Estrada, please check the video. I did the pronunciation correctly when interviewing her. I even double checked with Miguel afterwards to see if I didn't sound white. And I got the thumbs up from Miguel. It was fun. She was fun, and she's 30 years old. She likes long walks on the beach. She likes taller
pizza after weigh-ins.
And pizza after weigh-ins. She prefers spaghetti instead of lasagna. And first time ever happened in a Fight Net Radio get to know your fight person. She reached over and did the soft hand on the forearm thing. If Bob had done that, it would be even cooler, and I would remember it as the grandfatherly tap on me. I don't know. What would I prefer more? Bob giving me the grandfatherly, stupid man, or the Sanisa Estrada soft tap. I can't believe she has hard hands because I was looking at her fine. But I digress. Let's throw it once around the horn really quickly. I start with you. Andrew, what are you up to? How's the family?
Everything's good, at least until about 1 p.m. when my Raiders will play. Just going through another season.
Yes, they are. I had a very funny conversation this week that you would appreciate. Somebody here in Vegas, we were talking about not talking politics on my day job when creating content for your social media. And somebody made a joke. Well, what about the Raiders? I said, you can do it. I just wouldn't do it in a couple of places. I said, everywhere else is okay. I said, Vegas is already over this season. So you can pretty much get away talking trash about the Raiders in Vegas or having an opinion. I said, the Bay Area is still very bitter. And I told them about the Tracy war after the team left. They go, is that a thing? I said, it was on my Sunday show. And I don't think the Bay Area's ever recovered. Miguel, did you stay up late and watch all your fighting?
Most of it. Apparently, there was some boxing on DAZN that I totally missed, but I ended up falling asleep watching that shit because the early prelims of the UFC card were pretty decent, so I had to go back to try to catch that. But no, I pretty much did spend the rest of my evening watching it. Yes, I just fell asleep watching fights like a good boy.
Yeah, okay. And there was a big upset, right? Sorry, let me. Yeah.
You got goats back then?
I bought a goat.
That's understandable. Yes, that was quite the upset in the UFC yesterday. So it was the end, at least temporarily, of an era. So yeah, let's just say my dad was fucking loving it. My dad was loving it. Yes.
You know why I bought a goat, right, Miguel?
Let me see.
What's the hottest trend in food today?
In food? I have no idea. What is it?
Birria.
Oh, birria. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, birria tacos. Yes.
And what is it traditionally made with?
Goat, young man. Goat.
Correct.
A chivo.
In fact, I remember the first time I had it just outside of downtown LA, and it was goats, and it was delicious.
Yes. If you go hardcore, you can get the traditional live goat, and you slaughter that motherfucker in your backyard.
By that evening, do it here in the office. Haven't you seen the walls in the office already? I'm already thinking of hacking them up.
I don't blame you one bit. That is delicious.
But it also leads to today's title. Today, wait, hold on. I'm writing a joke on the fly with my new iPhone, which I finally, thanks to Miguel, got to work because I didn't have the right tools. Wait, hold on. You think I would have been more prepared for this joke? There we go. Let's see if it comes right up. Why aren't you working? In the annals of history, there have been many great chefs. From the United States, Iron Chef America. From Japan, Iron Chef Japan. This is Iron Chef Battle Goat. All right, I went a long way for that joke. With a goat setup, it's never going to get the credit it deserves. We're going to start today's show off with Battle Goat. And again, go watch the interview with Sinisa. She was a lot of fun. She was very game. Watching her look at her manager when I asked what she likes to drink in a bar is where it, she is about it. LA, East LA hood rat, where I grew up, and I love it. And I think we connected. I think we bonded. Please go visit. Back to Iron Chef Goat. Sorry. ESPN last week came out with their updated top 10 pound for pound list. And when I talk about GOAT, there is only one person on this list who probably will be considered and be a GOAT, and that's Canelo. We'll talk about him later on. But every time I look at this list, I get like that lump. Andrew, you go on long drives. What do you call it? A turtle poker? Where you know you got to take a dump the minute you walk through the door, even though you're deflecting kids as you run there. Why is it that the ESPN pound for pound list makes me feel like there is a turd pushing out of my ass?
I have no idea, Lee. What does the list look like?
All right. First of all, this is a first, and I didn't know they've been doing this. Did you know this, Miguel, Andrew, that they actually list the people who make this up underneath? And of this list, I only know a few of the names. What blows my mind, first of all, is Teddy Atlas is on the list. First of all, wasn't he legally declared not to be allowed to drive because he's like a grumpy old father, and he doesn't believe in lightweights? So a light, or what is it, a minimum weight, straw weight, they'll never exist on his list. Do we all agree on that?
Well, he got booted off. I mean, I don't know what it was that he said that pissed off ESPN. So I'm kind of surprised that he's even on this, acknowledged to any degree on this list, because he said some stuff that ESPN was like, okay, bro, fuck out of here.
Like what? God,
I don't know. I think he was talking about the judging or the ref. Something about the sport, the corruption of the sport or the judges or something like that. And ESPN,
he liked to play the line a lot. And like Miguel just said, he would call out corruption on the network, on the judging. He'd talk bad about ESPN on some nights. I mean, Teddy just, when he would blow a lid, sometimes he didn't care who he ran over. So, I'm very surprised he's number one on the list too.
Okay. Tim Bradley's on the list as somebody who gets to vote. Now I'm gonna disqualify him for two reasons. Number one, he cannot see in a straight line. Number two, he's a goddamn vegan. All right. How many times do I have to leave that question in the get to know your fight person for Tim Bradley to take a hint that that's just a joke about him? Just thought I'd say it. Mike Coppinger, who we have officially told everybody no longer listen to tweets from Mike Coppinger. Joe Testatori, who, all right, allegedly looks like a guy who takes way too much cocaine and that his pants are too tight and his balls hurt. I would remove him. The only person on the list that I like is Andre Ward. And personally, I think that's the list we should look at, but that's just me. And the rest of these people, I mean, Moynihan, isn't that like a Saturday Night Live player? Devontae Freeman, isn't he a football player? I mean, I'm just being perfectly honest at this point. Rothstein's what, 102-year-old judge, right? Am I wrong?
Welcome to the neighborhood. Did you know that Geico could help with your
Wow,
home?
how did we get a Geico commercial in the middle of this?
Oh, it's my mum's secret recipe.
That's Sam
Well,
actually.
not very good. It's a secret.
Oh, there
Move
it is. That's how it happened. I thought it was my own front door when I heard that. You guys didn't hear it. That actually drove me a little crazy.
Oh,
All right,
no,
let's talk about the list. Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was just saying we heard it. It was on here.
Hey, you know, it made me look. I'm like, well, that's what my doorbell sounds like too. Oh well, never mind. Coming in at number 10 is Vasily Lomachenko, coming off that amazing win against Jammy Jam Ortiz. You know what I would prefer? Tell me if I'm wrong about this, Andrew. How about 10 people that should be considered pound for pound instead of this is how we rank them?
Yeah, that's not bad. I do agree though. This is a homer pick right here. I don't know how Lomachenko got back on the pound for pound ranking so fast.
One win. One big win over Jammy Jam Ortiz puts him right back in the hunt, Andrew.
Yeah, a guy who never fought in 12 rounds, kind of sad.
Miguel. Oh, by the way, over Devin Haney. Over Devin Haney.
He's not. Oh yeah, no, that's an embarrassment.
Over.
And this is Andre Ward's
Charlo
list.
Brother.
And this is Ward's list, right? Andre.
No,
Ward's list?
this is the final list.
Oh, good lord.
How
Oh,
is
man.
Haney not at the bottom? I'll even look, and I want to give Charlo shit, but isn't he like a unified champion? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
want to go out on a limb here.
If it's
I agree.
Charlo, yeah, the 154.
Okay, so
Charlo, that dude's on there.
Lomachenko, how many belts does he have right now?
None.
Zero?
None. Yep.
None. Okay. How say you, Miguel? Does he make your list, or does he fall below Charlo even?
No, he needs a win over somebody big. Look, he after his loss to Teofimo, he's had 3 wins, 2 of which against were former Teofimo opponents. So understandably, we can kind of see what he's trying to do. But that the 3 wins over these guys doesn't get him back on the list. He needs a win over another big. Like let's say he were to fight Haney next, and then he ends up beating him. All right, I'll toss him in there because of that. But no, not yet. Hell no.
Shakur Stevenson. Okay, another one. Big win, Andrew, over Robson Canseco or Canciao, right? If I'm making up the name, it's just because I want to. I'm saying that for the show. So Rob is the guy he beat. It took him 12 rounds. Andrew.
He has the win over Oscar Valdez, though.
Yeah.
Really?
And Herring before him too.
And yeah, and that Oscar Valdez fight is huge. I know boxing right now, we're not as big as a sport, so it didn't get as a lot of coverage. But they were both undefeated. They were both champions. They unified. That was a great fight for Shakur, for whoever came out the winner, and it was Stevenson. So I don't mind Stevenson breaking top 10 with the unifying the titles against an opponent like Oscar Valdez.
Miguel.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little hesitant to have him at 9. I would like to have him maybe like at closer to like 8 or 7 or something. But maybe I'm giving him more credit than I should. But I mean, the win over Herring, which is Herring's already on the way out, and then the unifying the division. This is I'm not sure if that fight is getting the importance that it probably should. 2 young guys that are still in their prime, undefeated, both champions. Actually put it all on the line and risked it all to become unified champion. And Shakur came out the victor. So that's something that a lot of fighters aren't doing. So I would have liked to have him a little bit higher, but nonetheless, yes, he belongs on the list in general.
And I'm gonna be honest, it might kill some of this list, but if you're undisputed or unified and you're not on the pound for pound, it's kind of an embarrassment. Josh Taylor not being on that list, I don't know what that.
No, he's on the list. He's on the also run. He's below Estrada, and he's below Gervonta Davis.
Him and Jermell Charlo and Josh Taylor belong on the pound for pound list. I don't know who we're supposed to remove. Lomachenko probably being number 1. But someone else, you can't keep those 2 guys off. What they've done for the sport, what they were doing for their division, you put both of those names against any big names surrounding them, it's a pay-per-view fight. Like it's that's kind of foolish to not have Josh Taylor or Jermell Charlo on the list and have someone like Lomachenko who really hasn't done anything in a few years to be on that list.
To my point, the insane Teddy Atlas. Listen, there's nobody under middleweight on my list. Okay, got it. he's got welterweights. He believes in Crawford and he believes in Spence, but okay, that's where you draw the line. You draw the line there. There is nobody below. They should all fight at welterweight. Okay, cool, dude. Take your pills, Grandpa. His podcast is awesome. Take your pills, Grandpa. He's got like a guy to set him up, and it's your crazy uncle, like the war veteran who's still having flashbacks and PTSD in the room, like with a beer and then like nodding off while drinking the beer. Listen, about the time when I was in New York. Did I tell you about the time with Mike Tyson and the gun?
One day.
In my day. Back in my day.
Back in my day.
One day boxing's the greatest sport. The next day he hates it. It's all corrupt, full of shit. You know, just
They're all a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
The biggest ripoff in this entire list is at number 8, Dimitri Bivol. And by the way, they denote that he won against Ramirez. So this vote happened after the Ramirez fight. What's a brother got to do from Russia to get some respect on this list, Andrew? He should be above Canelo. Sorry, he should be.
I agree that he is probably going to get Fighter of the Year. But you see the name they have right above him is a guy that
I know that's even more disrespectful, in my humble opinion.
He's unified. He owns 3 of the titles, I believe. So he's done his business in that division too. He's undefeatedly with 100% knockout ratio, and he's faced 3 champions. You're not too much better be. And seriously, if we go grab the tape, we were very impressed with Beterbiev after that Joe Smith smackdown that he laid upon a guy who was very durable. That dude had went 12 rounds. He had went hard fight. He went. I don't forget how many rounds he went with Bivol, but it was. Beterbiev destroyed him. Wasn't even a fight. Boxing, punching, it all. He looks like he has it too. It's a great fight. I know the names above him are probably higher in the marketability side. That's why they're there, and these 2 are where they're at. You can easily go 7 and 7A if you don't want to disrespect.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, if you don't want to disrespect Bivol and say that the winner of him and Beterbiev is legit, going to move on up in the pound for pound ranking. The other guy takes a step back. But that fight is set up, and I really hope they get that one made.
If that fight's made, Andrew, will you officially call him the GOAT then? Will you acknowledge a Russian fighter? I know you're anti-Russia. Stand with the people of Ukraine.
No, listen, if he beats Beterbiev, yeah, we're talking some serious, you are talking about legit, you going on the legendary light heavyweight list. It's a young division, right? So he would go pretty high. The names that he has, I know
this is the GOAT fight. This is the GOAT fight.
It very well could be, because then on the other flip side, you're talking about Beterbiev, who is potentially, beats Bivol. Look at the resume that he's carrying into his career. So yeah, this could possibly be a fight that's titled for GOAT of light heavyweight division.
I'm sure many of you are wondering, when does Fight Net Radio give out their pound for pound ranking? Well, we do it at the end of the year because we won't be here, and we record that show in advance. We do it once a year where we write our own list. Miguel, Bivol,
Yes.
Beterbiev, I'll say it correctly one time, but Beterbiev versus Bivol, 7-7A.
Maybe I'm being too harsh on Bivol, but I think he should take Vasily Lomachenko's spot at number 10.
No,
he should take him at number
you're
10. Yeah,
racist.
I mean, look, he beat Canelo,
don't like
right?
Russians, do you?
But he beat him. He beat the dude at his own weight class, right? I mean, this isn't his fault. Canelo came into his weight class, but I mean, again, I think that should be something to should be like considered, the fact that he was fighting in his own weight class. and Canelo wasn't. So I mean, I think he should take the 10th spot and kick Vasily off the list entirely. I don't know if I should give him. I mean, ahead of Shakur, I don't know. It just seems like it's a bit much. I definitely think he belongs behind Beterbiev because Beterbiev is a unified champ, and if they fight, I mean, eventually down the line. I mean, how often do we get to see two guys on the pound for pound list go at it? I think the last time that happened was like Andre Ward and Kovalev, I think it was back in the day. So, to see them fight, that would be awesome. And I hope it does go down. And then, then we'll see who's in front of who. But I don't know. I think they're giving Bivol a little bit too much credit here. He should be at number 10 and Vasily should be out.
Number 6, a guy who hasn't fought in a while. Tyson Fury comes in at number 6. I would argue this one pretty bad. Yes, he's a stud, but yes, he also retired. Then he unretired. Then he went on Piers Morgan and said, I'll give you $1 million if I ever fight again. And now we're on track for the unification. We'll talk about those in the news story. Andrew, does Tyson Fury deserve to be on this list?
Yeah.
Not this high.
If you're gonna put one heavyweight on there, Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. So why not? Yes, I agree with him. There's no one that can beat him in the heavyweight division, Lee. So that makes him one of the best fighters in the world.
Miggs?
I have mixed feelings about having.
What is it with white guys, Miguel? Am I just learning this about you?
No, it's the fact that he's a heavyweight. It would be heavy heavyweight. That bugs me when I see these guys on these lists. It's like, well, you kind of, I don't know. The fact that they're heavyweights is what kind of like irks me the most. But the fact what he's done in the heavyweights and damn near cleaned out the division. Minus maybe Usyk and something like that. But I would have him higher actually. If we're gonna have a heavyweight, then we're gonna have someone the superstar status of Fury. I think it would have been heavy, but again, I'm kind of biased. I don't think any heavyweight should be on the list to begin with. But if there is gonna be one, and it's gonna be Fury, he should probably be higher at this point.
Listen, I understand your assessment, but he weighs more than a welterweight.
Yes, that's what heavyweight means.
Miguel's not lying. The list was made because of the heavyweight division. There shouldn't be a heavyweight on a list that is made because of the heavyweight division. And what I mean by that is back in the day, the heavyweight champion of the world was considered the baddest man on the planet. But Sugar Ray Robinson was so good, so talented. They were like, we need to make a title for him. Because he's just that good. So they make this pound for pound title. Why now we're putting a heavyweight fighter on it? That's kind of right. Kind of defeats the purpose.
Should we check with our boxing historian? Let's check with him. He's joining me in my headphones.
I think we all know.
Listen,
there's not a man.
When we were ranking fighters back when the redcoats were coming across the sea. Listen. This had nothing to do with heavyweights. Okay, when those guys came up, we would lob. I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder as I get older. Listen, what we would do, the pound for pound was actually the size of the cannonballs when we would shoot at those fucking redcoats as they came on the shores. That's where the term came from. I don't know who came up with this boxing thing because we never ranked them. We just made the fuckers fight. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. And now you've been around since 1776. If you're carbon dating Top Rank Bob, he is now officially 1776. Minimum. And of legal age launching cannonballs. So that means he was probably born in 1750, based on our historian. Which takes us to the guy that everybody still blows, Canelo Alvarez. Andrew, should we still be blowing the GOAT?
Well, if you're blowing Lomachenko, I don't see how Canelo is off the list. So
my original joke about this was, how do you select the top 10? Well, first you see what company blows you the hardest or sends you the best gift. And therefore you create your list after that.
I got to say, when I was, 14 years old, if I was looking at my ESPN pound for pound list and I seen my number one fighter dropped from number 1 to number 5, that would have hurt my feelings. That's a significant drop off from being the baddest man in the world to down to the 5th baddest man. So they didn't take him off the list, but I know, it still hurts that he dropped so far. He's one loss away from not being on there. Put it that way.
Miguel, our white hater, why don't you go into blowing Canelo for everybody? Because clearly you're going to like him way more than the white guys.
Right. He should still be at number 1. No, I'm kidding. No,
See, that's what we call a softball in my business.
I mean, keep in mind, he still is the undisputed champion at super middleweight. So until he drops those belts, I mean, again, he's going to have to go back to the weight class. He can't just hold on to the belts and fight at light heavyweight, obviously, right? So he's going to have to go back at some point at 168 and keep whooping ass there. But I mean, really, I think for him to get, this isn't too bad. I mean, yes, he did lose and he, dropped from number 1 to number 5. This is pretty decent. Like, I don't think it's too bad. I don't think one loss, even though it wasn't in his weight class, would completely take him off the list. But the way it would for, like, let's say Lomachenko, who lost his belts at his weight class. In this case, he's still a champ, so he's got to go back. But I would think in order for him to climb back up, he's gonna have to face a Bivol or someone else of that stature, because how he got on here, he whooped everyone's ass at 168 and hopped back and forth between 175, 168, and 160 for that matter, beating guys like Triple G and whatnot. So I think this is good for him. I mean, this isn't too bad. Like, I think any further down the list, I'd be like, hey, what the fuck? But this isn't too bad. For him to climb back up, though, he's gonna have to face somebody else. I mean, just look at the list. I mean, he's really going to have to face someone else on the list pretty much to get himself back up there again. Because realistically, he's already wiped clean the division at 168. And if he's going to try to do the same, I mean, should he do the same at 175, which I don't think he will, but I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, that is enough to get him back to number 1.
Number 4, Alexander Usyk. I'm going to start with you, Miguel, because you're our white hater on the show. I'm sure you believe Canelo Alvarez probably deserves to be above Alexander.
Well, Alexander is a unified champ at heavyweight.
Two division.
It's not. Yeah, well, I know, but he's not at that division anymore. But my point
is, this short.
He's still the unified champ. So I mean, I'm fine with this.
With only 20 fights, dude.
And still
with only 20 fights, that is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, and still undefeated, and when the spotlight was on him to beat fucking Joshua, he did it twice. So I'm fine with this. I'm fine with the fact that Usyk is in front of him, even though
you'll forgive him for being white.
Well, I mean, Canelo is. I mean, look at his skin color and his fucking hair color. So it's not like Canelo isn't the whitest Mexican in the world either.
Will you ease up on privately? I don't want to talk about this, but I guess I will. You told me in private that you don't like Alexander Usyk because he's from the Ukraine and you're against the Ukraine and you hope Russia wins.
I will neither confirm nor deny that.
It's a joke, people. That's the point of the show. Andrew.
Yes. I'm just going to say 2 sides to every story.
Very cryptic. Very cryptic.
That was. Send your comments to @Andrew Labouche and Kara Fight Net Radio. Come on, you gotta respect the Usyk, Andrew. I keep saying this every time we do this.
My argument for Tyson Fury was that I don't know if a heavyweight deserves to be on here. I definitely know
heavyweight. He just happens to fight at heavyweight.
Do not belong on this list. I'm going to tell you. He's not the best fighter in his own division, meaning that means he can't be on the list. This is a heavyweight division. There's not 2 best heavyweights in the world. You can't do it. It's a big no-no. One of them has to go. Unfortunately, to me, that would be Usyk right now because everyone sees Tyson Fury as the baddest man on the planet. So, no, I don't like Usyk on this list at all.
White hater. Send all your notes to Andrew Labouche, all the white friends of Andrew. All right, let's just talk about this. T. Crawford and Errol Spence, I'm just throwing off the list officially. So number 1 is Terrence Crawford. Number 2 is Naoya Inoue. I don't think any of us would dispute Naoya being in this discussion. And Errol Spence at number 3. My issue is, what the fuck has Spence done? And to be perfectly honest at this point, who has Crawford really fought? I get that, right? But those 2 guys, these 2 guys need to fight or get the fuck out of boxing.
No, I totally agree with you.
I'm voting him off the island, Andrew. I am.
There's no way Terrence Crawford could be number one in the world still. He has not proved that in 7 years since the Jeff Horn. I believe it was 7 years ago he fought Jeff Horn. He hasn't fought anybody of that caliber since, Sean Porter included. So no, no, this is it's very sad. It's sad what these two did to their careers, and I totally agree with you, man. Spence has been fabricated from the very beginning. Lee, he never deserved any of the titles they were granting this kid because he had the man in his division, literally avoided him in public, and we all granted him pound for pound status, and you're the best welterweight in the world? Are you fucking kidding? Like, I'm old school. You new kids, you can be doing you can listen to Al Heyman and do this shit all you want. No, Spence is fabricated, and now that we know again, they hid behind Al Heyman's skirt to get out of this fight. It's a joke. He's a joke. Terrence loses it because just the fans never bought into him. I don't know what Terrence, because Terrence, I'm not going to say he wasn't a good guy, because he is a good guy, but he also played that little bad boy role too, and they still didn't like him. I don't know what Terrence Crawford has to do.
Miguel, 3 guys, none of them white. I'm sure you have an opinion with what's on the screen. Take it away while I grab coffee, because I know you're going to have a mouthful. But I swear to God, if I come back in and in the middle of it, you are somehow magically blowing Errol Spence, I will cut off the connection. I thought it was bad enough with the Ukraine thing. Okay, I did. All right. You didn't co-sign me or wing me on the Sinisa thing this past week. I'm just telling you, you're on a very thin line with me.
No. I'm walking on eggshells here.
You're walking on eggshells. Take it away.
Jeez, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I get the impression that fucking the Crawford is basically on this list by default, or number one by default. I meant to say, like, once it was neck and neck for some reason. Him, he's not the unified champ by any stretch. I mean, at least not in this weight class. But I think he's being held in these high regards because of what he's done in the weight classes prior to him reaching where he was at. So that's understandable to some degree, but at some point, you can't just like coast on this list. You can't stay on this list and then not fight other top motherfuckers and think you're just going to be able to stay on here. And mind you, this isn't him making the list himself, obviously, right? It's other people making the list. So it's almost as if Canelo was at number one for as long as he was. And then once he loses, like, oh shit, he loses the number one spot. And then everybody moves up a spot just kind of automatically, sort of the thing. And it seemed as though that's what happened with Terrence Crawford. I definitely don't think he belongs at number one at this point. Considering that he hasn't fought. I mean, yes, what Andrew was saying, he beat Horn, so that made him the man at welterweight and got him one belt and the quote unquote title, I guess. But then what? And then what? Who else has he fought at that point? And when we're talking about these things, he's been at his weight class long enough to have been fighting. I mean, yes, he did fight Porter, of course. That means something, right? But again, Porter literally already had 1 foot out
a year ago, right? A year ago.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just seems as though it's more of a by default because Canelo loses. Okay, he loses a spot. So who hasn't lost? Who still got a belt? Who still was on the list prior to him, like Crawford was when he was at junior welter and even lightweight at some point. So yeah, I think it's almost as if he was there by default. Not even really because they was voted in. It's just like, oh shit. Well, because I mean, keep in mind between him and Spence at welterweight, Spence has done more. However, overall in a career, as far as like fighting other champions and whatnot in different weight classes, Crawford has done more. So Crawford belongs on the list. I just don't think he belongs at number one. And I'm debating if he even belongs in front of Spence here at this point. Because again, Spence has done something, right? He's unified the titles, albeit under the PBC banner.
No, wait a minute. Didn't he unify them through vacant title shots?
I think, yeah, the WBC, the one that Thurman dropped, that one was one. I don't remember the other one because I think he beat Brook.
He won one through Danny Garcia, who won it through Robert Guerrero, a vacant title shot through. I can't agree with. I can't give Spence this much credit, man. I really can't. I know you can. It's your list. You can do whatever you want. But I wanted to correct myself. Jeff Horn was in 2018. He fought him. So that was 5 years ago. That's still a long time. That is still a long time of not fighting another pound for pound ranked fighter or, even the top guy at welterweights who at this time would have been Spence. So both of these, I get what you're saying though, Miguel, with the default. They had nothing else they can do. Unfortunately, the right move is to remove him off the list. That's what you do. Yeah, you can't just. We did the same thing with Floyd. We really did. Floyd missed weight, only fought once a year, fought the guy no one wanted to see. Yet we kept telling everyone he was the pound for pound best. No one took him off the list. He kept just doing the same shit to us year in and year out. I think for another 5 years before he faced Manny. Manny was in 2009, December 2009, when he knocks out Cotto. That's the biggest that fight was ever going to get. Floyd doesn't fight him until 2015, I believe. Yeah, so 15. We did the same thing with Floyd Mayweather, keeping him on this list when really, if we had a Mike Tyson or Oscar De La Hoya or someone else that could have took that spot, his ass would have been out of there because we wouldn't have needed him. Crawford, same thing. You know how you fix this problem? You drop him. You got to drop him and you got to drop Spence. They don't even deserve it. The biggest fight in their division, they're not giving to us. So why should we give anything back? I'm not buying neither of their next fights. And no, they shouldn't be on the list anymore. He wants to put them. Yeah. Very frustrated.
That's true.
Go ahead.
Because if we think about it, like, we don't really have to put them on the list, right? I mean, yeah, they can call them bogus lists because they're not on the list. But when you and it's not even, we're not even putting their careers under the microscope that much, really. It's just recent stuff. It's like you can't just stay on there. And then again, this is just a hypothetical type of list here, right? But nonetheless, you can't stay on the list or get on the list by making accomplishments or whatever, or accomplishing what you can, and then stay on the list by never accomplishing anything ever again. Like, that's not how it fucking works. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't necessarily have to lose to be removed off the list. I mean, shit, it's our list, so we can make the rules whatever the fuck you want to make them. We can't just stay on the list for good, even though at this point
they don't weigh enough.
By the Floyd fucking standard, Floyd should still be on the list. Right? No one ever beat him. It's like, duh, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like by that logic, the motherfucker's still fighting.
Well,
YouTube
let's
guys.
take a real simple one here, right? If you go to this and look at Ted Atlas, no, he actually added Inoue. Wow, he believes in a bantamweight? Really? Wow, that's shocking. One, yeah. One actual light-ish guy. Yeah, it's tough. This is well, again, here's your teaser, kids. Tune in, and of course we do 2 shows in the can for the holidays. And one of them is the world famous. Now there are 2 shows, the now infamous biggest stories of the year, fighter of the year, stuff like that. We do all that stuff.
Tyson,
but our pound for pound list show is my favorite.
Tyson Fury, Inoue, Shakur Stevenson, Josh Taylor, Jermell Charlo, they should all be ranked higher. They're giving not only are these guys fighting at a high class level and winning, their records represent that. They are unifying. They're undisputed. They're giving the fights that the fans want to see, and we should be rewarding them for that. So yeah, I'm thinking everyone that has 2 titles or more, anyone who's been fighting what I just said, man.
Honestly, with the amount of champions, unified champions, or even undisputed champions, fuck everybody else. If you have 1 belt, you don't even get discussed.
Or you're getting discussed after those guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
But,
you got to have at least 3 belts to be on this list.
Well, I mean, and that's not a bad idea. But I mean, Andrew, does that mean that that fucking Spence is on there then? I mean, because he's got 3 belts. It's a little fishy, but
he has to be discussed.
Because he's not giving the fight people wanted to see. No one cared about him versus Danny Garcia over Terrence Crawford, bro. No one cared about him versus Ugas over Terrence Crawford. He's never given the fight we want to see.
But Ugas has bounced back so much from after the loss, Andrew, and he's beaten so many people, right?
Hey, I'm sorry, but 5 years ago, he had the number. If you guys watched the highlight of that Jeff Horn Crawford fight, the first round, they go, the number 1 fighter in the world is now fighting at welterweight. That was 5 years ago. He never wanted to be number 1 on the list. Take him off. He's had 5 years to do something with the number 1 dude in the world. Number 2, Okay, when Canelo's there, he's number 2. Whatever. Even though Canelo lost, Terrence didn't. I don't know how that works, but whatever. Number 2. Spence never wanted it. He needs to go. He's had easy fights. Danny Garcia for a title is an easy fight. I told you guys this, and I'm going to stick to it. Danny Garcia ain't shit when you compare him to Hall of Fames. He ain't shit when you compare him to a Roberto Duran or a Sugar Ray Leonard or a Hagler, a Hearns, a Trinidad. He's nothing compared to these guys. I don't care how many titles you give him at welterweight. When you look at Ugas, he's a nobody compared to these guys. So I don't care that Spence has titles, man. You had one man in your division you had to fight for the last 5 years, and you suckered your way out of it every fucking time not to fight him. He's off the list. I take him off.
Bam, 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 bam. Good job, Andrew. That's a good way to lock this up. And so let's get back to what we were talking about previously, which is Iron Chef GOAT. Who is the only fighter currently or slightly active that considers himself the GOAT? Anyone? If you're playing along in the car, this is a drinking game. Let's start with Miguel. Who is the only fighter that considers himself the GOAT that is actually somewhat active?
Floyd.
Andrew, and your vote?
Clarissa Shields.
Ooh, does she really consider herself the GOAT? Because that would be great. Should we ask her?
Yeah, she calls herself the GOAT. She puts the
The
W
GOAT.
in there.
That is, she might be a GOAT.
You're so mean. Why are you so mean?
I'm a GOAT hater. I am talking about Floyd Mayweather. He fights in approximately 1 hour on some network somewhere against nobody, but he's planning to fight again in February. So
He's already got it planned.
he's already got a plan for his February fight.
There's
So,
something going on.
Exhibition. We're
all
calling
right,
fight.
can we officially say it? The GOAT has eaten all his money, because that's
Yeah.
what a GOAT would do, right? They eat
Yeah.
everything, right? So the GOAT has clearly eaten his money, right, Andrew?
And you know what? I would like to congratulate Floyd. I haven't seen a winning gambling ticket in about 5 years. So, or
He
maybe,
doesn't have money to gamble, Andrew.
maybe,
Have a
yeah,
little
I
respect.
cured his gambling addiction out there in Las Vegas. So that's good. At least he's put down that too. So
Here's the question: does he still have his billboard off the 15, Miguel?
Oh, the TMT one? I think he does actually. Yes,
All
the
right,
50,
all right,
51
all right.
and
He
no
can
or
still
some
pay
shit.
for. You know what? He probably had to buy a year in advance. Probably like
Yeah,
you buy
most
a
likely.
year-long contract. Yeah, takes a lot of work to get that shit down. Miguel,
Hmm.
did the GOAT eat his money?
It's starting to seem that way. Well, I don't say starting. It started to seem that way some time ago as it was. But yeah, when he's starting to, shit. I mean,
Give you
when
his
he's still fighting in
February
Abu Dhabi,
plans for more exhibition bouts.
yeah, it's almost like he's telling the Abu Dhabi people, like, "Hey guys, yeah, I'm gonna come back in February, right?"
Hey,
So,
hey,
let's
and
do
by the
something.
way, if you haven't noticed, for anybody, go check out Manny Pacquiao's Facebook, because that's all he uses. He's been back in the gym now, and this dude's. I'm telling you, Andrew, I'm going to win this bet. It is now literally forever since that fight. I am going to win that rematch as an exhibition.
yeah, that's the one that I'm getting confused. It was them that was in 2015, Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Can you imagine if they time it just right? They both do a bunch of exhibitions for 3 years and steal money from stupid other countries that want to see these two assholes fight, nobodies. And then in 2025, a decade after the fact, have their rematch
Yep.
as an exhibition.
May
well,
2nd, May
clear as
2nd,
day.
2005.
What, Miguel?
I was saying in May, put it in the exact same month too. Fuck it, May 2nd, 2025. 10
Oh,
years later
yeah.
to the day.
Oh yeah, save the date. Save the date. Floyd will be announcing it after his February fight. That joke actually made me smile. Eddie Hearn says Canelo was pleased with surgery and he's optimistic for his return in May. All right, so he's not giving up his Cinco de Mayo spot. They're not talking about anybody. He is, of course, probably eating cattle from Mexico right now, Miguel, to get strong. So please, Vada, please don't come by and randomly test currently.
Yeah,
Who does Canelo have to fight in May? Because everybody is pushing for this Bivol BS rematch. Seems pretty. That's pretty
No
big
way,
coming off
Bivol.
of surgery.
Yeah, no way.
You got to
I
give
mean,
him. You got to give him a tune-up, right? Like you got to give him a Caleb Plant level fighter.
well, I mean, he's gonna have, yeah, exactly. He's gonna have to. I mean, if he plans to get, the rematch. I mean, not in May. I mean, but just the rematch with Bivol in general. I mean, because realistically, what Bivol's gonna have to do, he's gonna have to fight somebody in the meantime too, right? I mean, it won't be better Biev. I mean, I don't think, at least. So he'll do like a warm up fight as well to have some sort of like September showdown with Canelo. But I mean, he's gonna have to, if he wants to continue campaigning at 175, then he's gonna have to fight a Plant like fighter at 175. I mean, I don't know, who would that be. Who would it be? It certainly wouldn't be Ramirez, I don't think. I mean, keep in mind, Ramirez didn't look that well in this last fight with Bivol, so maybe that's given Canelo a little bit more incentive to be like, oh, okay, if this guy looks like shit against Bivol, maybe I can take him. But I don't know. It seems as
Could
though
he
if he
handle
wants to
Benavidez?
campaign, it's too much of a risk. I mean, he probably can, but at 100%, if he's going to come back and do a tune-up because of his hand, I don't think he'll jump that deep into the pool to get somebody, because he can beat Benavidez, of course he can, but at 100%, if he's, I'm not sure what percentage he'll have to beat him.
Wow,
Benavidez-
that is the only name on this list. Good.
Yeah,
God. Maybe
Benavidez-
Daniel Jacobs. Maybe.
Benavidez is signed to fight Caleb Plant in early of 2023. The winner most likely is going to fight Charlo. Al Heyman is not giving up any of those fighters. So you could take those three names off the list for the Canelo sweepstakes.
Daniel Jacobs. David Morrell.
How about a Joe Smith? Like at 75 though. 75.
Yeah, that's a good name. That's a good name, especially if he's looking to stay at 175 to try to fight Bivol in a rematch. The Joe Smith is a very safe opponent. Joe Smith is durable. He's a face first, but skill wise, Canelo trumps him. So
Yeah.
it would be a very safe fight for Canelo.
Yeah, he's a name at 175. He's a former champion at 175. People know who he is, and they're going to use this like common man type of story that they do on him, pretty much. So yeah, that seems like a solid one if he can, because I mean, he's a big dude though. He can take some shots, but I mean, against Canelo, it's kind of a different story.
What
but
about
I think
Chris
that's
Eubanks Jr.? We move him up one weight class. Is
Chris Eubanks on back on
Yeah.
his own, maybe.
That's a great fight.
Mhm.
right? And that
it's-
sells. It's all under Eddie Hearn. I'm looking at this list, right? You need a name. He can only fight names because he's going to want Abu Dhabi money. I mean, he is.
Mhm.
That's the big question here, Lee.
I think Eubanks can do it. I think and it's not dangerous. That's a very manageable fight.
I think what we seen with the Triple G trilogy fight is he's not that big of a star here in America on pay-per-view. So now DAZN and Eddie Hearn need to go to the tables and see where are they going to maximize their money to try to pay Canelo to take this warm-up fight and make money back for themselves. It's a very tough situation they're in, because your Eubank Jr. kid isn't going to come cheap. Joe Smith Jr. might come cheap, but he's not going to bring in much as many eyeballs as Chris Eubank Jr. So they are in a tough situation here with Canelo's price that he's asking for, and the fact that he lost to Bivol. Now, I don't know if in that contract, when you take a defeat, does your money come down? That could play factor into this next fight with Canelo.
What if Oscar could pull off Jaime Munguia and Canelo keeps destroying his roster? God,
'Cause-
it's so great.
I think we can all agree DAZN ate it big time. I was gonna say ate their ass. I didn't want to say that. ate it big time on the.
I'm married now. I don't have to eat ass. Thank you.
They ate shit. They ate shit, in other words. Yeah.
Yeah, man. On what they had to pay Triple G and Canelo, and now we're hearing they didn't even do, what was it, 200,000 buys or something, right? They only did like 175. Am I correct? That was their fight, correct?
Yeah.
Their most recent fight. Yeah, their last one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really low. So, man, DAZN's, dude, they can't take two of those. What are they, 60 million? You know what I'm saying? You're in the hole on a guy what's the future? What, Bivol's not making 60 million back? They're in a real tight spot with Canelo.
There you go. Moving forward. Anthony Joshua is 100% open to fighting Dillian White. Can I say this? I think I'm open 100% to fighting Dillian White. I'm first of all, what's up with Joshua? Because we could jump to the next story about Joshua because he's talking about also picking up Roy Jones Jr. as his trainer. He's starting to seem like a bitch, Andrew.
It seems, yeah, looks a little lost right now. Even if you guys, I think we talked about it on his last interview, the zone fight when they were interviewing him. He kind of didn't seem where his future was going. He kept looking at the ground. His body language wasn't good at all during the interview. So I'm going to say no to Dillian White. I think that's too tough an opponent coming back from his sick. Oh yeah, no,
No way.
Nah, you're gonna
Dillian
go.
White is broken. Okay, I'm not even sure he's gonna win his next fight against nobody.
He can knock a person out though. It's the heavyweight division, and he has that type of punch. So I'm staying away from that. You got to look. They've got to be 100%. Joshua wins his next fight, dude, or this train is totally derailed. The money's gone. The career's over.
The money's gone. The girls are gone. Listen,
Yeah.
You'll be Floyd Mayweather fighting exhibitions in Japan.
What was the uncle? What was the Floyd Mayweather that never made it? What is the Mayweather's uncle that never?
Jeff.
Makers of
It was
Rocky.
Good call. Good call. He'll be Jeff Mayweather. Shit, that'd be it for him.
Yeah.
From the makers of Barrera versus Hatton comes
No.
the tale of a fighter who just has a bad chin. And absolutely nothing above his ears. The Anthony Joshua story. Miguel, he's got to
Yeah.
fight somebody. Where do you want to keep him healthy? Like, we
Well-
got to give him a top 10.
No, well, no, we don't. I mean, I
You're
think
going to
that's-
just throw him right in with Deontay and let's get
Well,
it over with and
I'm
cash out.
saying like probably even a fucking top 15 dude or something like Waleed, fucking Otto Wallin or some shit. Like,
Otto Wallin.
throw in one of those kind of guys, because I mean, really, like put him up against somebody who's dangerous. I mean, he's coming off of 2 losses. That's like detrimental to your career.
What
They
about
put him
the
against a guy.
Polish? What's up with the Polish?
Oh
hammer?
yeah,
He's-
with fucking Hellenius or
No, not Hellenius.
Oh,
the
Kalinowski.
Polak. By the
Kalinowski.
way, you are allowed to make fun of white people.
Oh, good.
I officially saw it on something. So yeah, what about the
Yeah.
Polak guy from Chicago who keeps
Oh,
getting knocked out 3
yes,
times
just-
in a row and thinking I'm bouncing right back on track?
Yes, go dip into the PBC fucking heavyweights. Snatch one of those guys. Kalinowski or any one of those dudes.
Yeah,
that would be.
Kalinowski's
I would say.
perfect.
Yeah, I would say a safe bet. A guy's coming off a loss as well because you don't want some dude coming off a win. You know what I'm saying? He loses one more. Fucking, Amir Khan's wife is not going to call him anymore. Basically, at that point, like nobody's calling this motherfucker.
Miguel
Like,
with the
three-
burn.
3 losses in a row. 3 losses in a row, like dude, that's it. His career is pretty much done, and so it's a risky one. God damn it, even because White has a heavy hand. White does have a heavy ass hand, you know what I'm saying? Yes, he is susceptible to get messed up himself, but dude, any right hand from this and the state, not in physical state, but the mental state that Joshua could be after 2 losses, dude, Dillian can fuck him up.
And it's a rematch, right? This would be a rematch.
Yes. Yeah.
But they fought at a different time. You know what I mean? Like, this is a whole different fight here. Don't go back to that thinking, oh, same thing. I'll knock him out late again. Because I'm thinking he got him late on the first time they went around. But no, AJ's a different fighter today than he was back then. I think the evidence is clear as day now that AJ is not the same guy mentally, and got to give Garcia one. I'm giving Garcia. Oh, but then now that you're just telling me he's looking for a new trainer, which is real stupid.
Roy Jones
Jeez.
Jr.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Can I say it again? Roy Jones Jr.
Look,
and no diss to Roy, but how many
getting
champions does
getting-
Roy have currently?
Well,
Yeah,
none.
no,
I mean, yeah, and this really is no knock on Roy, but good lord,
it's
he's
not.
basically he's getting damaged goods at this point. He's getting that girlfriend that's been through so many fucking too many dudes at this point. It's like, all right, dude,
You're
stay
finding
away.
car keys in the vagina at this point.
Don't try to save him. Don't be Captain Save a fighter. Come on.
And you're talking about one of the most gifted fighters, if not the most gifted fighter of all time, trying to train someone on how to throw a punch. Floyd, Roy used to jump from like 5 feet and still hit the guy. Roy's like, okay, now look, You just gotta be super fast, and I don't give a fuck where you're at. Just jump in to throw a shot because you're so fast. You're gonna hit him. You're gonna hit him. So don't worry about it. Just jump in, bam, hit him.
Like give him 3 triple hooks, and then make sure to play basketball earlier that day, and you should be good.
Tragedy that is
Can I
Anthony
take a
Joshua.
punch combo in 3 seconds? Can you do that? If you can do that, you got this fight, man. I'm telling you.
Can you picture him in his mansion without furniture and like a tiger walking around, sitting on a fireplace, going, "Where did it all go?
Yeah.
Where did it
I
all
had
go?
it all. I had
it
everything.
all. I was on Running Wild with Bear Grylls.
Like-
Amir Khan's wife is blowing me.
Like at one time, he probably had a tight knit farm, and now the farm runs the fucking house. The
Oh
rooster.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Chickens walk through the room, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's like
The
trees,
back
growing,
door
vines
open.
growing through his fucking
The pool
walls.
is green. Yeah, yeah. That's oh god, I want to believe that so much. I really want to believe that. Teofimo Lopez, Jose Pedraza. I'm getting better at the DRAZ, and I'm getting better at it, Miguel. I think I'm rolling better.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's in there.
Undercard, yes.
I got
You're
one
picturing it still in your head, aren't you? Yes.
I have a feeling his training sessions are just old video clips of him, just highlights.
And he's sweating. He's got on his
Oh.
sweatsuit. He's sitting there.
all day. I'm
He's
sorry.
in front of like a rear projection TV, like one of those old big boxes. Okay, right.
Hey.
So that's my joke about watching
It's-
movies.
It's
But
making
he's
that
sitting there
sound
in like a pop-up lawn chair in
Yeah.
the middle of a giant room with the
Hey.
cows and the sheep walking
He
through.
takes you in the room. Before I sign you, you got to watch me in the Olympics lose and tell me I won. If you tell me I won, I'll train you today.
Is he wait, oh my god, let's go down this road for a quick second. Is he at like $150 hooker dollar level? Like is he like just getting half hours and go, what'd you pay me for? Just sit there.
Yeah.
Watch this fight with me.
This will be the easiest $150 you'll ever make, sweetheart. Just sit down.
right.
I won, right? I know I won. What the fuck? Just walks out.
Like, there's a tip in there
Oh.
for you if you fucking. It's just like this, like super like dim, foggy room, and like the machine, the projector's making that
Right.
sounds like the old school fucking.
There you go. Now let's hit the scene.
Yeah,
It's just kind of getting dark.
it's like
The
kind of
hooker's
foggy.
sitting there smoking on the
Very
fireplace,
smoky.
staring at him as he stares at a giant screen rear projection TV.
She's like hitting the crack pipe before she starts watching this fucking.
Yeah, whatever.
Before she starts watching the
Oh
fight.
shit! I almost fell down.
Why does he have a monkey?
Yeah. Like, what are these tigers doing here?
He doesn't know what to do with any of the animals.
The fall from grace. The fall from grace, Joshua.
And somewhere Eddie Hearn's dad is going, he'll be back on the farm shortly, picking cotton out back. Don't worry.
We love you, Roy. I don't know why Lee went. We love you, Roy.
Woo! No, and Roy, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't touch it. But, I've said that about women too. I wouldn't touch that. And I have. Teofimo Lopez, Jose Pedraza undercard. First of all, I'm not excited about the fight. I think this is a get healthy for Teofimo, and Bob's willing to give up Pedraza. Listen, don't sleep on Jose, okay? He's a live fighter in this fight. I copyrighted that back in the 1800s. Live fighter in the fight. It is getting harder. All right, so we're going to see the debut of Tiger Johnson, right? This will officially be his coming out party on this thing. They talked about that. Top Rank has had a bunch of signings, and that's it. There's nothing else. Apparently, they believe that New York will be happy just to see Teofimo, Pedraza, and Tiger Johnson, who looks to be the next Mike Tyson of crazy in that weight class. Miguel, are you excited about the fight? Have we rated this on the scrap meter? And Tiger Johnson.
I mean, it's kind of cool that there's getting some more stars, or like potential stars, I should say. Top Rank, I'm saying, because the same cards with Keyshawn and fucking Big Baby, or not? Was it a real
This is
Big
about
Baby?
the same time
It's
as
like the
Sinisa
same.
as well, right? but I believe Bob got that at a garage sale in front of Oscar's place.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, the zone basically was like, yeah, you can have her. But yeah, like I mean, it's cool that they're getting other names because we're getting the same repetitive cards with fucking Xander, and they're just basically recycling the same dudes over and over. We're seeing the same guys in the same undercards, and it's getting a little bit repetitive. So seeing some fresh blood on undercards is nice. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to watch, of course. I am excited for the main event itself. It
Are
is a
you?
little bit of a I mean, it's a bit. I don't know if it'll like land on the Chubb meter by any stretch, but it's definitely more of a dangerous fight for Lopez. The last one was kind of like dipping his toes into the 140 pound division. So he's like, all right, let me see how I can feel here. And then now Pedraza's like, because Pedraza's a former champ, so it's like it's a big deal. So I'd say this is a safe bet. It's a safe next step. I like it. Pedraza is a name and a former champ. So, and I think he's a southpaw, as a matter of fact. So it's not going to be an easy fight. I'm looking forward to it. And they're adding some potential stars on the undercard. I'm down.
Andrew Lapichet.
Yeah,
What do you
no,
think
this
about Fofo and Jose and Tiger?
it's a trap fight for Telefimo, right? If he does underestimate this guy, very
Don't
least,
sleep on him. Don't sleep
yeah,
on Pedraza.
can't, because Petraza has a lot of close calls in his fight. You're talking a guy that went 12 rounds with Lomachenko. He went 12 rounds with Ramirez. He went 10 rounds with Come. Those were all very close fights that could have went to Petraza's way. The really only real big loss that he has in his career is a TKO loss to Gervonta Davis, which probably after what happens on Saturday night whenever these two do fight. I don't know. Is it next Saturday, Lee, that they're fighting?
Yeah, we should be pretty close, right?
All right. So whatever happened, this could be Gervonta Davis's biggest win of his career. Seriously. Petraza is a very high caliber fighter. This is a great matchup right here with Telefimo. If he is able to pull an upset on Telefimo, you throw in the controversial decision that he had with Ramirez, makes Gervonta Davis look a lot better. So yeah, I'm totally into this fight. I hope Telefimo it takes him serious, and I'm also going to say we're going to see a lot of how much his dad has taught Telefimo, adjusted in his game plan. See if he's going to bring anything else new out of the kid, or if we're going to see the same Telefimo Lopez going in against a boxer sharpshooter, I think is what call him, Petraza. It can be a tough fight. It could be a very tough fight. Looking forward to the betting line, Lee.
Has anybody noticed besides me the hard-on that the regular, well, I would say regular boxing fans have about hating the welterweights and the middleweights so much that we're getting an influx of old welterweight and middleweight fights hitting the internet over the last, I don't know, couple of weeks? Like a lot, like lots of Hearns, lots of those classic matchups with Sugar Ray Leonard. And, the fans are tired of these weight classes. They just are. Nobody's fighting anybody. Nobody. Agree or disagree, Miguel? Agree, disagree.
No, I agree. I mean, that's always been, the knock on boxing is like when the money is too high, when the risk is too much, the fighters end up not doing it for whatever reason. When they can blame it on the networks and then blame it on the other side of the street and all this other shit, right? When there's enough at risk, they'll make it. When there's enough of a pot for both fighters, they'll do it. But when there isn't, or if there's too much at stake, sometimes they'll end up not doing it, and that's always generally the knock on boxing, right? Is the fighters tend to take a lighter road. So when we see guys like fucking Josh Taylor, who like cleans the division, or Canelo, or fucking Fury and Usyk, who are willing to fight each other and to really like be the number one dude in the weight class, well, we should give those guys a lot more credit for for that. But yeah, unfortunately, agree. We get tired of this shit when guys go around, circle each other, and they don't actually fight.
I think, Andrew, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, you're on social media about as much as I am. There just seems to be an influx right now from welterweight to middleweight of sort of classic fights. Like the fans are just, we want this. Why can't you guys do this shit for us?
Yeah, no, listen, I agree with what Miguel's saying we're at a low right now as far as these guys fighting each other. When they do fight each other, sometimes it's hard to see where for the casuals, Lee. We got to remember the only way this sport works is if the casual fans tune in. Without them, we're not making millions of dollars. And I say we like I am, but our champions are not going to be making millions of dollars. Like the situation DAZN has with Canelo is real. He's not a big he has a big market in America. Is he worth 30 million a fight? Is he worth 26 million a fight? I really don't know anymore because he's not big over here. When you look at Terrence Crawford, Bob Arum told us 2 years ago, the guy what's his famous line? He's a triple. Is that you know what I mean? Like
a single, a double, and a triple. That means that you put your hand under their shirt by
I could have
second
bought
base.
a house. He said I could have bought a mansion or with the money I've lost on this kid. Like,
Yeah.
This is all real. We have fighters right now that are supposed to be the best fighters in the world, yet they have no market in America.
Let's make one final turn right here and one last story, only because we haven't talked about Oscar since his girlfriend his ex-girlfriend beat up his current girlfriend, but he's got new comments, which should be absolutely hilarious. Oh yeah, Oscar is bitter still. God damn him. Benavidez plant. Suleiman states it's going to be the mandatory challenger for Canelo. Okay, that gets Canelo off the hook without having to deal with Benavidez for a period of time. Here's my favorite part of this is De La Hoya. Now, follow the math on this because I'm going to check his comments in a second. If Canelo knocked him out, okay, he acknowledges that part, right? Then Benavidez will destroy him. Okay, let's rewind this one again. Canelo did knock him out, then Benavidez will destroy him. What crazy ass shit is that? Like that statement doesn't even make sense. When I read it to put it on here, it didn't make sense to me. Am I losing before I even read his comments? How crazy are these comments? Canelo did his job. He knocked him out.
Lee, he doesn't work for Canelo anymore. So
I understand that. I understand his bitterness about the whole thing. But what I don't understand is at least stop getting drunk and like repeating he's basically repeating, well, if Canelo did it, then Benavidez is going to do it. That's really what this should say. That's what it should say. Instead, it's Benavidez will destroy him. If you knock somebody out, there's no more destruction than knocking someone out. I don't want to explain boxing to anybody, but if you knock someone out, you destroyed them. Are you saying that he will destroy him in greater fashion? Am I crazy for thinking this, Miguel? Like this is crazy. This is crazy drunk talk at 2 a.m. in a bar.
This is like calling up your ex-girlfriend and listen. I know Canelo knocked him out, okay? But Benavidez is going to destroy him. What did you just say? Like, what is he expecting that he's going to, like, knock Plant's head off his fucking shoulders or some shit? Like, it's going to be one of those kind of decapitations. I mean, I don't know he must not have. I mean, I don't know.
I love it. Listen to his quotes. I love this fight. Of course you do, prick. It's a great fight. It's a beautiful fight. Oh, my God. He was drunk when he did this. Styles make fight. I'm a huge fan of Benavidez and Plant. Has a beautiful style, but I'll believe it when I see it. I don't believe he's talking about this fight. I believe he's talking about Benavidez. In his mind, Benavidez and Canelo are already fighting. It's a beautiful fight. I love this fight. Oh my God, Styles make fight. Just to see Canelo get beat up. I hope he gets hit by a car on the way to the wedding chapel. Like, why is he having a discussion? Like, what is it about Oscar that will not let this Canelo shit go? Andrew, any idea? Do you have any insight on why apparently Oscar's cock broke off inside of Canelo's ass?
Nope. I don't know what to say. I just think he's downplaying Canelo's victory. by saying, or downplaying Caleb Plant by saying Benavidez will destroy him. So it's a pathetic fight. Like, to me, Canelo De La Hoya is acting like he doesn't like this fight.
I love this fight.
Right?
I love this fight, bro. I love it.
Knocked him out. Benavidez will destroy him. So to me, De La Hoya is like, don't purchase this. This is garbage.
Yeah,
Which I mean,
exactly. And the funny thing is that maybe even after this, he might change his tune after this, because they'll make it seem like Plant. I'm sorry, triple fucking what's his name? De Benavidez would have a win over somebody. I'm almost positive after this they're gonna say, well, Plant did go 11 rounds with Canelo, so that was something that's significant of a fucking win. But right now it just seems as though they're really throwing they're throwing this fight under the bus real bad. Like, they're really.
It's all right. Yeah.
It would
I
be
don't know
great if
where they're
Benavidez
going.
did it like
Right now,
midway in the 10th round, and that's what the take. Oh, it took Canelo an extra round. Dude, let it go. We've all had that friend. Let it go, bro. Just let it go. Just
to move on.
Just move on. Just move on, bro. Let's do replays of last week, and let's hope for the best of the sanity of Oscar De La Hoya, as literally his entire catalog seems to be a fire sale out in front of it's like a garage sale in front of DAZN. Don't you worry. Once Jaime Munguia loses, he'll be there too. He'll be picked up. He'll be snatched up by Bob in no time. Probably made it to a champion.
Jaime, yeah, whatever.
If he loses, he's getting a gimme fight.
He is not even a prospect to me anymore. He's just a guy, I think, that they all know what he is, and they don't want to. They're trying to cash out on him rather than put him in a fight where he loses to some guy that he's going to get him to that big one. I think they're just trying to wait for the big payday for that kid. But he's a JoJo Diaz, man. He's never gotten better. Every fight's the same. It's a war. He looks, maybe he lost, maybe he won. No one really cared, and that's who Munguia is. He's what is he got? 40 fucking victories and not a fan behind him. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward and cover the last of what we got to cover for this week, which is we got a couple of fights to talk about. Number one, you guys want to talk about fight of the night. It was Ricky Hatton coming out to the ring in a walker as a joke, by the way. That's hilarious all by itself, but I think he really needed the walker. I'm just going to be honest.
Triple G should have done that. Triple G would have been legend if he would have did that.
Ricky Hatton versus Barrera. And sadly, it was one of the better fights of the weekend. So all of you undercarders out. Well, okay, let's say that there were at least 3 cards that were televised. We got another one at 10 o'clock. Of those, you probably got about 10 fights on those cards. I would put this near the top of the list. These guys, even for an exhibition, don't look bad.
No. Great. We had a great middleweight fight last night on ESPN.
I know, I agree, and we're going to talk about it. I just credit to these two guys. At least they know what a real exhibition that doesn't look like they're old farts trying to relive something. They both got in real shape, and they both gave it an effort. I give them credit. All right, I'm trying to sell me fighting again, Andrew. I guess you're not seeing the underdog story.
Are you gonna come out to a walker early? Are you gonna have a walker?
I can't anymore. It's already been done by Ricky. He stole it. He stole my idea. He must listen to the show.
All right, maybe you take it a step further and you come out in a fucking wheelchair, like electric wheelchair.
I you know what would be really funny is to rank all the fights for one weekend, and I guarantee that this one is somewhere in the middle. That's sad.
Or you have one of those
50. Look, they got to be 50-plus-year-old guys. Easy. They got to be close to 55. How old do you think these guys are, Andrew?
In their 40s. In their 40s. So? Come on, they're not older than Oscar, bro. Come on. Right. Ricky Hatton and Barrera are a generation under De La Hoya, dude.
All right. I'm going to let this go. I tried to sell Miguel on it. I want to say they're in their 50s. Why will nobody let me have that? All right, let's talk about the Love Sparks DQ. The only person who probably watched it is Miguel. How bad was this DQ, Miguel?
It was the dude basically like Royal Rumbled his ass and threw him over the fucking.
Did he really just throw his ass out of the ring?
Dude, like he was complaining about I think elbows or something. Yeah, I wanted to see if you can watch the replay, but yeah, I guess he was. Yes. This was after he hopped in. You reminded it too
That's
much.
after.
Okay, I want to see this. Chuck out of the ring. Okay, so it's got to be right here.
No, you missed it. You gotta go back more.
More?
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at
it
this,
is
look at this.
Royal Rumble. All right,
That's
let's
that's
set
like
it up.
elimination.
Yeah. No, this is straight up Royal Rumble.
Look at this. Over the top rope.
Down he
Oh,
goes.
both feet on the ground. He's out.
He's out.
And
Walks
he's
back
like,
to the-
Fine. He's fine.
yeah, he's
There's
fine.
nothing wrong.
By the way,
What? Like
why is there a DQ?
total overreaction by the referee. I don't know what was going on
He's
last
ready to
night.
go?
I watched
Mhm.
this. Look at Love was losing. I don't even think Love was going to win this fight. It was setting up to be a real bad night for Love. I thought the ring, the rope didn't hold them at all. I never see Love lift him. Now I know he helps them by putting them over, but I never seen the attempted lift and put over. To me, that fucking third rope drops too far down, and the momentum kind of just takes him over. So I hope they take this DQ back and put a no contest on it, because one did not look intentional, like he was
threw it. Yes, it was. Come on.
Hey,
I
show
watched
what-
enough Royal
Well,
Rumbles
I
to know that
think-
this.
I think he pushed them. That was intentional. But going over the top rope, I mean, at some point he was kind of already half over the ropes, and I think Love was just like, "Oh fuck it."
Then he
Let's
finished
just go.
it.
Let's
All
just
right,
finish
so-
it. Yeah. Because he
Why
could have
isn't
held
that
him.
rope?
That's he's
He
pushing.
could
He
he
knows
could have
he's
kept
going.
them. He could have held him and kept him from coming over.
Easily
Yeah.
caught him.
But that rope is like, these ropes are loose as fuck though. Look at that.
I
That's
know,
fine,
dude.
fine.
You got no way. I didn't think it was bad. To me, he didn't lift that man up.
Well, it
Okay,
doesn't
they
matter.
both went in.
Per Royal Rumble rules, Montana Love won. I mean, God, that would have even been better.
You know,
Could you
I think
imagine?
I want to say the ref probably was like more. I mean, yes, pissed off at Love for dumping him over the top, but also like if you let it play here, he's trying to control Love, and he's like relax, and he's like stay in your fucking corner, and he's not staying in his corner. So I think that on top of like this, the insubordination on top of dumping him over the top rope is what ultimately led to the disqualification. Because that in and of itself, I mean, for fuck's sake, Mike Tyson bit Holyfield's ear off
Twice.
and twice, and
Twice.
it wasn't until the second time that he got DQ'd.
Thank-
So it's like he's fine.
Stone Cold.
they-
Stone Cold.
He was gonna lose this fight anyways. The guy
Yeah.
can't stop the fight. Look,
I mean-
Lee, I don't even know who this Love. I don't know who this Love guy
The
is.
greatest
but they're,
name ever. Wait, listen. First of all, the name Montana Love. Who cares about his career? What a great name. Period. That is like a porn name if I ever heard a porn name.
Well, they were kind of talking about his story. I guess he did 2 years in prison and came out and turned into a professional fighter, became undefeated, and here he is doing his home. This was his hometown, his coming out party at his front of his hometown. This is his first fight, and he got DQ'd in the 6th round. He looked like a prison fighter. I'm not trying to talk shit, but there was a lot of gaps in this guy's defense and in his offense. I seen him cheating way earlier than I seen Spark cheating. And maybe the elbowing and the head leading was because you seen Love getting frustrated during the fight, and he started just, hitting during the punches, during clinches, or when they were telling him to break up. You seen him mentally start coming apart. And I was like, well, it looks like this story's not going to end well. And then 6th round comes, and we get he even dropped him. Spark drops him in the 2nd round, I believe, with a beautiful right hand. And the guy couldn't stop a right hand. He did not have defense for Spark. I don't know if it was just this night, because he was undefeated with, I believe, 19 victories. So they had got him. He had quite a few fights under his belt, but defense was lacking, and it might have just been too much. Maybe the environment was just too much last night.
Hold
Yeah,
on one second,
that's-
Miguel. Joining us on the newsmaker line, it's Vince McMahon, who's unretired himself. I've just signed Montana Love. Go ahead.
He's gonna win next year's Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania. And
If
face
they
the
don't
champion.
get him as a surprise entrance for the Royal Rumble that's coming up, they have totally missed the boat.
I think the fight was already out of Love's. He wasn't gonna win. He was not gonna win it. Like it was not going in his direction. And I think at the very least, I mean, granted, he probably didn't do it with the intention of getting DQ'd, but at the very least, he has an out now. He can say, "Oh, I got DQ'd." It's like you weren't gonna win anyway, fool. But at the very least, he can go that route and be like, "Well, I got DQ'd, so fuck it." So it doesn't. Even though the DQ is probably worse because of the way it happened, he didn't get totally fucking schooled for the 12 rounds and then potentially get knocked out or something like that. So at the very least, he tried to save face by trying to get DQ'd.
And I'll tell you, the ref
Eddie Hearn clip here of what the fuck are you doing?
he's yelling at the ref.
He is.
Eddie.
He is.
Eddie.
Look at
Hearn
Eddie
was
Hearn
yelling at-
wrestling. Whoa, 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 whoa.
The ref needs to understand whose hometown they're fighting in. Eddie Hearn has made this whole night about Love. That foul wasn't that bad. You can look at the tape and go, all right, you just momentum carried you guys over. It was the heat of the battle, whatever. But he never lifted him and tried to dump him over. So you go on, take a point away. Spark, you all right? Get 5 minutes. Spark looked like he was fine. He was laughing about the fucking thing. And you get on with the fight. And you know what? Every promoter would have said, hey, that ref, he did a good job. He handled that right. When Floyd Mayweather got dropped or was getting some hits by Zab Judah and fucking Roger jumped in the ring, did you see the ref go, oh, my God, Roger just jumped in the ring, disqualified, DQ, DQ? No. He knew that whole night is about Floyd fucking Mayweather, told everyone, get back to the corners, took the points away, let the fight continue. This guy, he ruined it. Eddie Hearn was like, fuck him, I'm never using that guy again. You could tell Eddie Hearn was pissed off after this fight took place.
I am telling you, if Eddie Hearn is not cutting a deal with Triple H right now, what a travesty as a surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble.
I'm sure only 10,000 watched this fight, bro.
He does the January pay-per-view. I think Eddie Hearn should pay to get Montana Love into the WWE as a surprise entrant.
Everyone in the arena saying, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
No, you have because they have announcers that is that
Love.
Montana Love, the guy who threw the boxer out of the ring and got disqualified. Yeah, it would work, and then just throw his ass out of the ring really fast. Who cares? Last night was the debut on Top Rank for Emiliano, which Miguel had to correct me multiple times on making sure I got the extra in there. Emiliano Vargas. So, by the way, I love this. They actually have to write son of Fernando Vargas. In case you didn't know, he's the son of. Jesus Christ. It's like every time they do a Nico Ali, grandson of.
Yeah.
Great job, marketing department. And we know look, we love the marketing part. I almost want to do a Trump. Don't we love the marketing department over at Top Rank? We do, folks. We do. They're bigly. They were very kind to us, even though we asked at the last minute. Did we learn anything from this at all, Miguel?
I mean,
other than his dad is fat. That's what we learned this week. His dad has gotten very fat.
Well, I mean, when you retire from the sport and still eat the same, it's kind of what happens, yeah, I mean, he's, I've seen these guys in the gym. I've been in the gym with these dudes. These dudes, they go hard. They fucking go hard all the time. So they're young and they're very, what's the word? Oh, damn, that's nasty.
It's a good knockout. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good Zapruder-like knockout. I mean, it's a JFK assassination.
Yeah. They have that youth, that vigor, the young cats. So they're really like, it seems like they really, really want to make a name for themselves, for each other, I guess, or one another. So, they're going to go out there and really try to put on a show every single time. But, it's too short for us to say, again, this is his debut, so it's not like they're going to put him against, good guys yet. So it's too early to say. He did what he needed to do. They put him up against guys that he can beat. That's obviously the formula, and he did it. So at the very least, he's doing his part as of right now. Beyond that, we really haven't learned too much.
Andrew, it's just like JFK. Watch when he hits the ropes, back and to the left.
Jeez.
Too soon for a JFK joke?
This was, This was my main event of the night for Junior. Brought him out for this fight, wanted him to see the kid because I know he's young. He's going to be here for a while, and he didn't disappoint me. That's a beautiful slip, double shot to the body, then to the head. That's fucking thing of beauty. Junior got to see that, so I was very happy with that. He has his dad's left hook power. Vargas was like the first. I went to go watch Fernando Vargas in 1996 at the Henry J. Kaiser Center in Oakland. My brother-in-law and his brother had bought me tickets for my birthday, and we all went over there and watched Fernando. And Fernando, he had a good left hook, and it definitely looks like his son has a good left hook. So yeah, no, I'm not mad. I like that Miguel says that they're hard in the gym, because sometimes off their social media feeds, I think I've said this before, they tend to seem like they're more into the show side of boxing than the grind. So I'm glad that Miguel sees them in the gym and says that they're really trying. Obviously, this knockout here was a good thing. One other thing I want to say, Lee.
Yeah.
The kid was undefeated that he fought. He only had one fight, but he was 1-0-1, and Vargas was 1-0-1. And so I'm like, so I
really wish I won the $1 billion just so I could hear Andrew go, yeah, but Lee's undefeated.
Yeah. Hey, listen. No, but when your kid is stepping into a pro debut for a big night like Top Rank fighting on ESPN, you would think the opponent's going to be 1-13, never had a knockout. You know what I mean? Lost his last 11 fights in a row. That's usually what these debut showcases look like. When I seen the kid was 1-0-1, meaning he knocked out the only opponent he ever faced, I was like, all right, well, at least they put him in there with someone with confidence. And then that happened. Beautiful
and
knockout.
My favorite part of this is the guy. I love knockouts like this where they look going, what the fuck? What? I can go. Why don't I get a count? He's actually arguing for the count.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
He's like, what the fuck? I'm fine. They're like, bro, you're still on the ground.
Where's my 10 count?
Oh,
It's like the other guy got thrown over the ring and he's fine. Shit, I'm fine. Shit, I'm
Fuck. Wait, could you just put my mouthpiece back in my face? No, put my mouthpiece back in. No.
Hey.
Put my mouthpiece back in. No. And
Lee,
no, hey. Yeah.
Lee, that goes on for a few seconds too. Like his cornerman even still on the ground. And they're telling him, bro, you're on the ground. Like, stop, dude. I can fight.
like, where is he?
I mean this sincerely. When I do those stupid stunts, like I want to be knocked out just so I can see if I pop up that delusional from a knockout. Like, I can go. I could do it again. That is so great. No, wait. And he's mad he took the mouthpiece. Why are you taking my mouthpiece out?
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. He looks at him after he takes the mouthpiece out. What do you
count, bitch? I would have been all count. Isn't your job to count?
Where's counting, ref? Look, so I hit my head on the rope. I look like JFK getting shot in the back of a caddy. Come on, man. Cut me some slack. Jesus Christ. By the way, what I didn't like in this, he actually had to take a pretty substantial punch before he lands that punch.
Yeah,
that one.
It was. I mean,
that's a
good.
pretty healthy punch that he should have slipped.
It's good. He's not. I mean, come on. This is boxing. He's gonna get hit. He took it well. Yes, he probably shouldn't take stiff jabs like that.
Well,
but
no,
whatever.
his dad fights that way too. I mean, they're into getting hit.
You have to be some vulnerable to plant your feet and throw back. It's bound to happen. It's not. That wasn't bad. If it was like a lead left hook, a jumping left hook, that I was like, all right, that's the story. But it's a straight ass jab. It wasn't like it was a hook that takes longer to reach its target.
It was pretty stiff,
jab.
bro.
It was
pretty stiff. Oof.
And that's fine. Let him get hit. Let him get hit.
He saw stars on that punch, and that's not healthy for a long-term career. Just saying it out loud.
But you notice he responded,
CTE.
right? But you notice he responded. He gets hit with the punch, and he's like, "Oh, okay, motherfucker, I got one for you," and then he responds to it. So.
And by the way, fighters are all like that. This is why I tell amateurs never spar with real pros, because if you accidentally hit them correctly, they will light your shit up like a firecracker. I mean, it's an automatic response of I must throw the biggest left hook I own. And that's ultimately what he did. He got popped
Mhm.
and put an end to it.
Nice.
Back
That was
into the
sweet.
left. I really think that what happens after this fight is really just as entertaining. I mean, he made a show of it. Boof! Good body shot.
Yeah,
Poof!
flip. Damn.
Oh, in
Again,
slow
yeah,
motion,
smart.
it actually looks worse. Oh,
It's a beautiful punch.
boof!
Yeah.
On the line.
The ropes basically like kept him from his
Did you
head
see
slamming
how
off
hard
the
he hit him?
canvas.
Watch the fluid come out of his mouth from the body shot. God damn. He sprays fluid. I want the other angle where he gut shots him and there's fluid that comes out of his mouth. Watch.
Ooh, that was gross.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And then, to his credit, the kid pops up and ready to go. What do you mean? What do you mean the fight's over? Why is he standing on
Yeah.
the ropes?
Pop up, but he's definitely awake and saying he's ready.
Well, the thing is, he's aware. That's the thing. Like, he's complaining because he knows the referee stopped the fight. So clearly, he's coherent enough to understand that the referee just stopped the fight. So he's there. He's there. Just a little, groggy.
He just doesn't know he's on his back.
This takes us to our co-main event of the
He's
evening.
like, "Why am I in my bed? What the fuck?" Huh?
Scene here while the referee attempts to grab Young under. By the way, how is this not sexual harassment in boxing? He is clearly
Shit.
touching females below the belt line. Just saying it out loud for the room. We're all thinking.
I have a point. You can only have 2 taps, ref. 2 taps. Anything else, you're groping now.
Wait, and look at who he's focusing on. Sanisa? Sanisa.
He's got-
Only
Do you have your cup on? Do you have a cup? Oh, women don't wear cups. Okay. Are you wearing your chest protectors? Oh.
He's got
Could you
gloves
imagine
on.
a referee just losing his shit and walking into the ring going, they're just too high, and then just grabs 2 tits and like hook them up?
He's got gloves. He's got protection, but gloves are like hand condoms, so he's fine.
Well, that takes us to an 8-round exhibition. That's all I can call it. It's not true. This is actually a really good fight. I had said with Miguel that this woman has no chance, and the betting was plus 4,000 on this fight, Andrew. Plus 4,000 if you wanted to take Villarino. Nice girl. She looks actually good when she lets her hair down too. On the how I rank fighter scale, she's all right. She's right. Sanisa way better with the hair down. I don't know how I feel. Did you watch the press conference, Andrew? With Sanisa?
No, I watched. No.
She went through
No, I
a
did
rough
not.
7 months, and I lean over to Andrew and I go, "She's single." She did this really teary-eyed. I went through a really hard 7-month thing where she was starting to tear up on the stage, and I go, "Oh, she went through a breakup. This is available, girl." And by the way, if you don't really think that that's how I am, Miguel, will you confirm for the audience that I am that much of a douchebag? That
Oh, yes.
that is the only assessment
is-
I had of her press conference.
Yes, that is the seal of approval. You get the stamp of approval. Approval on that.
She looked fantastic in her debut for Top Rank. Andrew, you like this fight?
That's all it said on your notes, Lee, when you walked out of there. It's all you took away.
That was like,
Yeah.
she's single. Like, gotta buy her a drink.
Well, my mistake was as I went by the all-female PR section of Top Rank, they're like, "What did you think of Sanisa? I saw you did one of your interviews with her." Yeah, did she break up with her boyfriend before you guys signed her? What? What did you? She was talking about a tough 7 months. Is she available? Do you have her number? That would be the best. By the way, that
I liked
really
her.
would be the best. But she put on a great show, and I thought they put on a really competitive fight. And Andrew, you like
was
it?
entertaining. It was entertaining. Once again, there's a lot of gaps in her game, though. She was kept switching back, orthodox southpaw. About 2 weeks ago, ESPN was on there like, Kambosos can't keep doing this. You can't do this when you're fighting a skilled fighter. He's going to catch you on transition. Then on this night, Timothy Bradley's like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I've
Yeah,
never
they
seen a
only have
fighter
2 minutes. They got to throw punches." I couldn't even believe it when he said it. The girls got to get
That was
going.
like-
They only have 2 minutes. They got to throw punches right out of the gate. All right, Bradley, get
Yeah,
your
they
dick
say, I
out, man. Jesus
It-
Christ. It's like
So, you know,
Timothy
which one is
Bradley's
it? Are you
penis was in the ring watching the fight with him. This is the best thing ever. Okay, clearly we know
supposed to
what
go
you're into, bro.
or I don't know, Lee. So whatever. I don't, you know, it is what it is. As the fight carried on, she started picking her apart. As she was transitioning to orthodox and southpaw, it worked a lot better. It looked a little better on camera. But when you're going up against, like what they said a few weeks ago, a skilled fighter, you're not going to get away with doing all that type of shit.
Miguel.
Well, that's kind of the catch-22, because are there any other skilled fighters at that weight class? I mean, that's kind of the thing, you know, when one chick
She
is
knows
like
she
really
has to
good,
go up,
she can
right?
clean
She's-
up. Yeah, she
yeah.
can clean up the fucking weight classes or two weight classes. That's just the unfortunate reality of female boxing. It's like when one girl comes out, like for there to be an opponent to even fucking match her would be like several weight classes above or below or whatever. So that's kind of, you know, there aren't enough elite females to have that kind of for these women to be able to pay for those kinds of mistakes. You know what I mean? So I did notice. Huh? Go ahead.
105 pounds. Continue.
Yeah. So I don't. It looked, and it could be just a ring rust, because she did mention she needed to shake off the ring rust, but it looked like she did kind of like run out of gas a little bit towards like the latter half. It does look like she just always swings for the fences. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't always have to swing for the fences. You can put less power in them. You can, you know, play around with her jab if you want to take a quick rest. But like, it just seems like she's always swinging for the fences every time she throws or punches. So I'm just saying, you don't have to go that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, maybe you want to impress and you want to knock some people out because you know you've been out of the ring for a certain amount of time. And I think Bradley said around 11 months or so, I think, and she might have said it during the press conference as well. But she's been out of the ring for a while, so clearly she wanted to get back in there and she was eager to do so. And it just looked like she really didn't have to throw that hard all the fucking time. And I think it kind of took its toll, because the second half of the fight, even though, you know, we're talking about 10 rounds or, you know, 2-minute rounds, it did seem as though she did kind of run out of gas a little bit. But nonetheless, you know, she did what she could to keep her foot on the pedal, and she won relatively easily. It wasn't like it was much of a battle. I think one judge had like literally every round. It was like 190. Like, they didn't give Viorino any fucking rounds. It's like, wow, okay. But anyway, yeah, good performance. It was a good debut. They showcased her. She was the co-main event, and she got the job done. So, you know, praise to her. It was a good fight. She needed this to get back in the ring.
Thinking about me while she was in the ring.
She was thinking about that time that she touched you like gently on your forearm during the interview. That's what she was thinking. Like, if I cannot lose this, because Lee will kick me to the curb if I lose this fight. So
By the way, go check out the interview right there on the front page of Fight Net Radio video wise. For you audio people, no, I'm leaving it special. It's our time together. But I'm hoping, I want to give her some advertising help. Go check out her fans OnlyFans page. You know, it's the most polite thing I can do, right? I mean, it's the least I can do is hook that up for her. Am I bad for that?
Well, if it helps her, great. But I'm not exactly sure what kind of content she has on there. So,
you know what? I realize staring at this that it's very low key. There is nothing going on here, and nothing anybody would pay $10 a month to see. But if you go by the titles, warming up sounds really good. I hope that's got a good photo. Gloves on, sure, that's hot. Getting my hands wrapped, and then it should be ... but nothing else. I'm just giving you a little marketing help. It's almost time. I want to thank you guys for there's nothing on here. This is going to be one of those lames OnlyFans site. Ugh.
She should just put a camera up while she sleeps and says, maybe I touch myself during the night. Maybe I don't. And I bet you she gets $1 million.
That is exactly what you want.
Pay to find
By
out.
the way, does she not know you got to put a couple of teaser videos and a couple of pics up to like entice people?
Yeah.
Again, just trying to help you out with the marketing and your $10 a month porn site, but that's just me. Takes us to our main event of the evening. By the way, the overs and the unders on this fight were 4.5 rounds. The Russian Janibek, or MTK off garage sale recipient.
Buddy just calls him Jeff. What did Buddy McGirt? John Buddy gave him a simple name. I like Buddy.
Like Danny or Johnny or something.
Yeah.
Well, he's not really talking to him. He's talking to a guy who talks to Janibek for him because Janibek doesn't
sometimes-
speak a
and
word of
Lee,
English.
And Lee, I'm gonna put it out there right now. Sometimes it looks like they were not translating shit. He was just looking at Buddy. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
What did
Fuck
Buddy
he-
say?
Yeah.
I would love to be in the corner and actually know Russian to see if what did he just what did you just translate? I need a chicken
He's
to be
trans-
killed in the middle of the ring. What that doesn't translate.
Fucking, but he's like, you got to give me more hooks, man. And then the corner's like, all right, straight jabs, more straight jabs. He says, more straight jabs. Okay.
Yeah, right. Not to mention the translator slash manager of Janibek, who also now works for Top Rank, is a former MTK offcast. It is so MTK adjacent to see all these Russian guys start to appear, but good for
These
Bob for
fucking
picking up some
Americans
champs.
said, want you to back up.
I start with you this time, Miguel. I liked the fight. I enjoyed it.
Now
It
we
wasn't horrible. The only thing I have is generally the odds makers are right. And if they believe this should have been a 4.5 round fight, it should have been at least somewhere in that ballpark. I don't think he handled his business all that well, but he won ultimately in the end with a unanimous decision, but it was a great fight.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
Okay, you take it. You take it, Andrew.
All right, thank you. And then I'm out of here, you guys.
Of course.
He looked like a one-trick pony last night. Look, I didn't have a dog in the race, but I love this fight. I became a fan of Bentley's at the end there. The guy took a lot of shit, man. They said he was said he was going to get knocked out. They're talking, oh, this guy's the boogeyman. This guy's so big and bad. He's going to be the next Triple G. Just hype. Then as the fight took place, it did look like Jeff or whatever Buddy's calling this guy. It did look like he was going to make easy work of him. But then it didn't happen, man. Third, fourth round came around. Bentley's still hanging in there. Bentley had a tremendous knockout punch himself. They started talking about him being Nigerian, that his parents traveled from Nigeria the first time to see him in the fight. All of a sudden, I found myself rooting for him. It almost worked, man. It was almost a great upset. I think he lost it in the last 3 rounds. He just got tired. Both guys had never went 12 rounds, and I think it affected Bentley more than it did the champ. But as far as the champ, ESPN hyped him up way more than what he showed last night. So this wasn't that great of a performance. He did win. He got the decision, keeps the title, should move on and fight maybe Triple G. He is a middleweight. So he has all that going for him. But as far as a coming out party, as he's as the boogeyman, as they were trying to say, no, he missed on all that. He's lucky he got a victory.
Oh, can I throw something in? I know, Andrew, you got to go, but Andrew, you'll want to hear this. I found out about the mystery of the Top Rank buckle. Wow, he turned it off that fast.
No, what's that?
Oh, okay. So they weigh so much that they get caught on the ring ropes. I talked to one of their ring card girls. Apparently, they're so heavy and they get caught on the ropes that they don't wear them as often, and they just basically get in the way. She goes, they weigh a ton. And by the way, the blonde one has lip gloss behind in her little strap when she's doing the weigh-in. Just thought I'd throw that out there too. I thought it was that's hot. That's hot. All right, Andrew, go be a dad.
Right. Take care.
Easy.
Miguel Antonio Barragan. We had an interesting and fun fight week. We got to meet Sinisa. We got to see exactly how big Buddy's gotten, and he seems to be growing exponentially.
Oh, dude. My dad echoed what you just said. He's like, God damn, is that Buddy good? What the fuck happened to him? I was like, yeah,
what
Dad,
happened to him? That's
he was like, boy,
first
that
words
guy's-
out of my mouth as I'm
Yeah.
standing there after I started Sinisa. What happened to Buddy?
yes. And my dad's words like, oh, está bien gordo. That means fat. I'm like, oh, God,
Sí.
that guy.
See,
that guy
Papa. See.
let himself go. Let himself go quite a bit. Yes.
All right. Wrap it all up for us. Tell me what you saw in this fight. Did it rate on the Chebo meter?
It did a little later on. At the very beginning, it didn't, because it did look like like Bentley was kind of in there basically to survive. He was very cautious there early on, and it was obvious that he didn't want to let his hands go because he was afraid of some countering and something that's going to come back to him. But it looked like he was very cautious at the beginning. later on, when he was like, oh, I think it's almost as if he tasted a couple of Johnny Beck's punches and was like, oh, I can take this guy's punch. He's not like, the boogeyman that they're playing him out to be. So afterwards, he started to really, let his hands go. And it almost seemed as though Johnny Beck was a little surprised, like, okay, this guy's still here. I'm going to kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit and make sure I don't run out of gas too soon. And then he himself was more cautious, and he was a lot more accurate with some of his punches afterwards. And he just wasn't as active. So or I should say accurate. But I didn't like Bradley. He was man. I know Bradley sometimes is like biased towards like some of these black fighters, but dude, he was doing such a fucking like. Talk about me and Canelo, good lord! Like he was sucking Bentley's dick big time yesterday, man. He was just anything that he did, like he would like land a solid body punch, and Bradley's like, woohoo! It's like, dude, it wasn't that bad. Like, relax, motherfucker. Yes, I get it. He wasn't supposed to be here beyond 4.5 rounds, and he went the full distance. I was more excited of what Bentley was doing the latter half of the fight. Granted, as everyone was, but man, they were really, and they did their damnedest to try to like they try to kill the boogeyman narrative that they themselves built. So I don't blame them for that, because yes, he definitely, it could just be like, I don't know if Johnny Beck, I mean, if I had in the US, but it could just be that this was like his first major main event, as champion, because I believe was it Andrade or Bubba dropped the belt, so he picked it up. And at this point, this is the first time he's main evented as champion. So maybe it was just the occasion that kind of got to him. I don't know, but it was a fun fight, specifically the latter half of the fight, and Johnny Beck did what he came to do. We expected him to knock the dude out, but he didn't. Once he realized he wasn't going to knock him out, he was very workman-like in his in his output. But big credit to Bentley nonetheless, because we weren't expecting him to be this far, and he went ahead and did it, and he went the full 12 rounds. So at the very least, a moral victory. He didn't get, totally knocked the fuck out by Johnny Beck. But it even though, and it's weird, their stocks kind of change, like Bentley's go up even though he lost, and Johnny Beck's kind of comes down a little bit even though he won. So it's a weird kind of Bret Hart, Steve Austin kind of double turn, heel good guy turn.
Double turn.
That's what it seemed like. It's just like, yes, Johnny Beck got over, but people are like, wait a second, questioning this guy now. And yes, Bentley did lose, but people are like, wow, he gained a lot more fans because of it.
Well, Miguel, I think we've had a strong week.
Yes,
and
fun week.
And I think I have to go and kill a goat.
Yes, please do. You slit the throat.
This is the goat episode, so I'm going to go kill a goat. Everybody go to our Facebook and check out Sanisa's interview. I thought it was a great show for all of you, considering there was no fucking news. It was a fairly lackluster fight day. We hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next week. And thank you, everybody, for watching the videos and listening to us. Check us out on social media at Fight King Migs, at Lee Honich, at fight.net.radio. Thanks, everyone.